Hi, ladies. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so excited to be hosting this live broadcast today. I took a couple weeks off and made you some pre-recorded videos, but today I'm here live, and thank you so much. We've got a full house over here on YouTube. So excited. And I just want you to know that I'm also broadcasting simultaneously on Facebook. So when I'm looking up, I'm looking at my Facebook camera, and when I'm here, I'm looking at YouTube. So welcome. Today we're going to talk about navigating Valentine's Day. And I wanted to start early talking about Valentine's Day because I know it's a really delicate conversation and a tender spot for a lot of you women that have been disappointed in the past. You're single and hoping to be with somebody by now, and so let's talk about that. And those of you who are new to my channel is dedicated to women who want to create conscious love, who want to learn to deliberately date, who want to skill up, who want to have rich, juicy, deep, intimate relationships, and I'm here to teach you how to do that. And so don't forget to subscribe to my channel on YouTube so you get notifications about my trainings, and like my page on Facebook so that you know when I'm going live. All right, let's jump right in. And I'm going to be taking questions today. So make sure you please post them in the comment box, and I will be checking in on that a little bit. And so I'm going to share a little bit about my first two Valentine's Day with Michael to give you some real world examples, which I feel is really important. And then I'm going to give you a suggestion. So the number one thing that I suggest for new relationships, this is like under a couple of months, so it's fairly new. And so what happens is that new relationships, Valentine's Day can be more awkward than romantic for a new relationship. And I'm speaking from my own personal experience. So I want you to, take the pressure off, because you don't know if you're supposed to exchange gifts, and you don't know if you're supposed to have a romantic day, or if you are supposed to just ignore it. So let's talk about that. Let's start with a new relationship. And basically, this is a fairly new relationship that I'm referring to. And it's important that you talk about it. You have to share what your expectations are with your boyfriend, because he can't read your mind. And I know some of you might be thinking, I want him to take the hint. I want him to show me how much he cares about me. I want him to, take the initiative and surprise me. But that's just not what we do as mature, wise women. It's just, I wouldn't leave something if it's important to you to chance, but it just sets you up to blame your partner and create some resentment for you of some kind of unfulfilled dream that you never really shared. And so now you might think that Valentine's Day is a cheesy holiday and it's very commercial, or you might think that it's a fabulous opportunity to have a really romantic evening, and so you might be in the spirit of it. So whatever it is, you have to convey that to your partner. So you want to right away have a conversation with your partner about what you'd like to happen. But how I'd start that conversation is just like, got Valentine. Now remember, this is for women that are new in a new relationship. You might want to start the conversation by saying, Valentine's Day is coming up, because I promise you that it's an awkward conversation for men and for women. And I know my video camera just got a little blurry. Sometimes if I wave my hand in front of it, it will focus. It's not focusing that well today. So hopefully it'll catch up. I'll stop moving around. And so it is an awkward conversation, but believe me, men are very aware that Valentine's Day is coming. So I would just go ahead and put the conversation on the table. And you can say something like, Valentine's Day is coming up in a couple weeks. So I thought we would just talk about how we both feel about it. So you want to always give your partner the opportunity to tell you how he feels about this holiday. So does he think it's a cheesy commercial holiday? And I would say a lot of men do. Or does he think it's an opportunity to take you on some lavish date and shower you with gifts, etc.? You need to find out what his opinion is or his feelings are, and of course share yours. So let's just say that he's like, I think it's a cheesy romantic holiday and it's commercial, and that's how Michael feels. And and I may have felt differently, but it's okay it's okay that I felt differently or that you feel differently. You just have to, your job is just to communicate what you'd like. And so there's no judgment either way, but to expect something to happen and have it not happen is setting yourself up for a big disappointment. So get it out in the open, discuss it, have some clarity around it, and make a plan. Make a plan so that you're both happy. One of the options could be is to make a nice dinner, at home for both of you. You could either offer to do it at your home, or you could have, go over to his home, and then you could decide if you want to exchange gifts. I don't recommend that you spend more than $30. I think that it doesn't need to be a lavish gift. I don't think that's appropriate, especially for a new relationship. So I would recommend something like, like a book, something thoughtful, maybe an author. Maybe there's a movie that you're both wanting to see. You could get the tickets for him. Just something simple like that, a scarf, just something thoughtful, but nothing extravagant. It just puts too much pressure on a new budding romance. And you don't need that because you have other things that are more important. And next year, it can be different. Next year, if you're still together, then you can say, Valentine's Day is coming up and I really want to make it special this year. And that's what we do. So every year we discuss it and we decide what we want to do. But we've been in a relationship. So let me tell you the 2 first years in Valentine's Day that I had with Michael. And so the first Valentine's Day, he had always been skiing on Valentine's Day, or not always, at least while he was divorced, with his daughter. And so they had already had a ski trip planned. That was their annual trip together. And so I knew ahead of time that we weren't going to be together on Valentine's Day. So let me just tell you, was I disappointed? Sure. I wanted a romantic, like everybody else wants when you have a new relationship, a romantic dinner, and he wasn't even going to be there. So I was really wrestling with the expectation that my mind had created, that Disney had created, that all the myths and fables, Snow White and Cinderella stories created in my mind. And I was really wrestling with really coming to terms with a more mature view and creating a more mature romantic meaning to the relationship that I was in with Michael. And so I wasn't with him. He was with his daughter. I went up to San Francisco with my daughter. She was looking at colleges then. And that day was a difficult day because I was fighting with the expectation that my mind had. So I wasn't having my higher self, the being that I am, the conscious being that I am, knew that I didn't, that I have different beliefs about it. And I knew not to have an expectation, but my mind, who had been watching the Disney movies, who grew up, and millions of girls are impacted by these fables and myths around this romantic love. And so, it's kind of like Snow White never woke up to Prince Charming's kiss, and Cinderella never made it to the ball, right? And so we really need to examine those myths and fables and find out if they're serving us, because they certainly don't lend to the mature romantic love that I'm teaching you. Doesn't mean you can't celebrate Valentine's Day and have a lavish holiday. I'm just saying that the expectation doesn't serve you. So that's why you have to talk about it. So that's my recommendation for those of you who are in new relationships. The second Valentine's Day, we were in Utah the second year that we were together skiing. I went with him, and his daughter was there. So it wasn't really a romantic holiday for us because she was there and she brought a friend. And so it put Michael in a position where he probably had to think it through. And he didn't tell me this. He surprised all of us with a gift. So he bought a box of candy for his daughter's girlfriend. He bought his daughter a gift, and he bought me flowers and chocolate. So that was an interesting thing to see. It was a little awkward. We were in the kitchen in Deer Valley, and he had these, things for each of us. And so that was an interesting time to navigate. And that's why I'm saying don't put pressure on new budding relationships, because you'll have moments like that. I didn't want to seem ungrateful, but it was a little awkward to be sharing a romantic holiday with younger women. However, I'm in it for the big picture. I was in it for the long haul. I was playing the long game. And so I knew to go with the flow. Go with the flow. It's not like anybody went out of their way to create it. This was already set up. And so I just just got into surrendering to what is, and that's what gave me peace and grace to walk through it and have not have the expectation of some wildly romantic holiday, even though I thought I deserved it based on the history, because we're mature women here, right? So now, if you're in a relationship and you're watching this, I think it's important to discuss it every year. That's what we do. So every year we discuss how we want to celebrate it. And we both are from the same school of thought, as we don't like to go out on Valentine's Day on the exact day, because it's, there's always set menus. It's really packed. It's so commercialized. It doesn't really feel authentic for us. Now, I'm not saying it's not authentic. This is just my personal preference. So we celebrate it. We go to dinner on a different night. We pick the night. Sometimes it's a week later. We're like, let's celebrate Valentine's next Thursday or next Friday or whatever. And then Michael asked me what I want. And every year I just tell him I want flowers and candy. And I don't need that, but he likes to do something for me. And we don't sell it. We don't exchange gifts. And sometime once he bought me an extravagant gift, and that was a surprise. It was a Mont Blanc red pen. I think it was a Greta Garbo pen. So what a beautiful surprise to get that gift. So wasn't expected. So I was surprised, but I don't expect that every year. And I like getting surprises, but I don't expect them. So that's just the way that I feel comfortable, that doesn't put pressure on our relationship. We still have a romantic evening, romantic time when we get home, if you know what I mean. And it works well for us. So make sure you talk to your husband, your boyfriend, about how you want to celebrate. And I think you should celebrate. I think you can do something at home, but it's a fun opportunity to pause and have some romance, whether you stay at home or go to dinner. And so for those of you who are dating, and you have had the exclusive, you have not had the exclusive talk, then I say you ignore it. That's my recommendation. If you haven't had the exclusivity talk, then you're not exclusive. He's not your boyfriend. So you just ignore it. In other words, ignoring meaning, I know that it might be a painful day for you. I'm not saying ignore the pain and the expectation that you might have and the hopes and dreams. I'm just saying that don't bring it up to a guy you're dating. It speaks volumes to where you're at in your maturity level to a man you're dating. It puts pressure on him, and he might just back up. And you're not exclusive. Now, if you just started seeing somebody, you can get a cheesy card. That's what I recommend. Just buy a fun, cheesy card that's got like a cute joke in it, just for the fun of it. And just give them a card, and you can put on some red lipstick and kiss the seal with your lips. That's kind of cute to do. Or do that for your husband or boyfriend. I really like doing that on my cards to Michael. And so that's what I recommend for Valentine's Day. It's up to you, is ignoring the holiday, including the holiday, and how you're going to celebrate, and setting the expectation for the gifts. Now, if your guy says, I want to take you out to a fabulous dinner, more power to him, right? That's fabulous. I hope you send me a picture of you in your beautiful red dress. And yes, I recommend that you wear a red dress. But don't expect it, and don't make a big deal out of it. That's what I recommend. It's just not worth the pressure that it puts on a relationship. And I'm speaking from a woman who's been in a relationship with Michael for almost 8 years. So excited about that. There's always next year too. If you just got a new relationship, don't forget there's always next year where you can say, can we do this year? So what else do I want to tell you? I guess I want to just take some questions now, but I want you to really start to think about what I shared about burying the myths, the fables, because we really set ourselves up for to stumble, because it's not, the knight in shining armor and the prince, they don't exist. What exists is, the relationship that you want to have is with yourself. You are your own knight in shining armor, and you need to embrace that, because that's how you will be able to show up for your partner in a mature, romantic way. When you're not looking to him to rescue you, to save you, to meet all those emotional needs that you are capable of meeting from within. And there's one person that will never ever leave you, that will never abandon you, that will never forsake you, that will always accept you and love you, and that is you. So don't abandon yourself this holiday, this Valentine's Day, and don't allow yourself to go into I guess for lack of a better word, a pity party, because What that says is that you don't believe that you are going to have a romantic Valentine's Day at some point in the near future next year. So don't allow yourself to go into that emotional rut because it's just not going to feel good, right? And you can get stuck there and it's just not worth it. If you want some romance, buy yourself some flowers, buy yourself a bottle of champagne and treat yourself to the things that you want. Give yourself what you want. That's like the law of least effort. Do unto yourself and to others that which you would like to receive, so that you can have the experience, what it feels like to have the flowers there and to have the candy or whatever it is you want. That experience, that feeling helps you to actually create the belief that is going to happen for you, because those feelings are tangible, they're real. So when you look at flowers that you bought yourself, you're saying, I deserve flowers and I will get them for myself until my man gets them for me. So it's a win-win. I always bought myself flowers on Valentine's Day and chocolate and probably a bowl of red wine, to be honest. Maybe I even drank the whole thing. So let's take some questions. Thank you, those of you on YouTube. Let me just read some of the questions. Any questions? Good. You go to a movie, you don't stay home. Very wise. That's great. Maybe go to an active singles meetup group. Yes, there's so many things that you can do so that you don't step in a bunch of negative thinking. Because it stinks. When you step in a bunch of negative thinking, it's like dog do, right? Of these little piles of negative thinking, and you go around stepping in them, and then you track that negative thinking, that piles of dog do, into your new relationships, that negative attitude. That's why you want to avoid it at all costs, and avoid putting yourself in that emotional rut. What about his birthday? Get a massage. Another good suggestion from the ladies on YouTube. So get a massage. Great. What about his birthday? My guy friends always want to do things with me. I'm not sure what you mean. What about his birthday? My guy friends always want to do things with me. I'm not sure what you mean by that. I'm sorry, I can't answer that question. Let's see. I'm just going to scroll back up and happens if you're single and you have no one. I want to celebrate Valentine's Day. Celebrate. So I just answered that question. Celebrate every day that you wake up. I wake up and I'm like, I'm so happy that I woke up. That's a celebration, right? Yes. And go big, go big, celebrate, live it up. Life's meant to be lived to its fullest every single day. And so I got this top at Boston Proper. I'm going to be wearing red all month. I love red. I love the, Valentine's Day. They call it Galentine's Day, the month of love. And so treat yourself to a beautiful red blouse or dress and wear it on Valentine's Day. Wear it to work. Wear it around. Have fun. If you don't wear dresses and you wear like workout clothes, and get some red and just celebrate love, right? And so I don't see any questions. I'm newly remarried, and it's my daughter's birthday on Valentine's Day. This year, my new husband and I are celebrating. Let me reach up and see more of that on Facebook. I have to actually reach up and touch the question so I can see it. Ooh, it's not loading. Sorry. It says, this year, my new husband and I are celebrating. Maybe it says with my daughter. I'm not sure. I'm sorry, I can't see your entire question, but you know what? Whatever you decide, it's great, right? It's great. As long as you and your spouse are in it together, and I don't know how old your daughter is, it's my daughter's birthday, then I'm sure that you can explain to her that, or maybe she's already on board, that this is how you want to do it and you'd like her support. I find that if you ask for support, asking for help, starting a conversation with, I need your help with something. Will you help me? When you ask somebody to help you, first thing they say is yes. She's 11. Okay, great. So I think 11-year-old probably really think that would be really fun to celebrate, especially if you position it in a way that it'll be really fun. Like, and I would take her. She's only 11. You guys could have another day that's a romantic holiday. I used to give my daughter, especially when I was divorced, goodies and cards and stuff. It's fun to do that when you're a mother. So what other questions do we have? Sorry, I can't see your questions on Facebook. Let me go over to YouTube. We're almost going to wrap it up. I'm single, not dating anyone. And it's a lonely time. Yes, it can be, but remember you have yourself. So don't abandon yourself on this day. That's just, it's an excuse to go unconscious and go into victim thinking. And it's also lazy. So I invite you to not do that to yourself. You cause more harm than good. I know that it's a lonely time if you're single. So go ahead and just feel that for a little bit. Just feel it for 10 minutes or so. And then write an affirmation that declares a belief that, so you can have the experience that brings. And I've talked about this before. So in closing, I'm going to talk to you about fourth level beliefs. Fourth level beliefs are beliefs that you create with your conscious mind so that you can have the experience that that belief brings. So if you want a man next year, on Valentine's Day, you can write down an affirmation, like a little program to program your mind. It can say, I now have a man who loves and adores me. We celebrate every Valentine's Day with a romantic dinner and a bubble bath. Ooh. So you can write out as if it's already happened, the experience that you want to have, so that you can start to program your mind to believe that it's going to happen. And then take a bubble bath and get yourself some flowers to have something tangible so that your mind can wrap itself around. It's all about the mind. It's all about programming the mind to believe in something. It's like faith, only you can actually speed up the process by creating tangible things in your home, because then your mind has this experience and it's experiential. And that's what makes it so fun. Let's see. I value the experiences more with a man than with gifts. I would rather share the memory. I agree. I think that that's an awesome attitude. That's right. Don't have a pity party. Do something cheerful. And I plan to do things on my birthdays and holidays. That's good. Okay, so ladies, next week I'm going to talk about dating anxiety, and I'm going to talk about more on Valentine's Day and give you the support that I know you need during these times that can be really tender, when we're feeling alone, and we are alone. And so one thing that I want to invite you to, so I am going to be a speaker at a 3-day event here in San Diego. It's a 3-day total health transformation event. It's hosted by Dr. Kelly Rutley, a colleague and friend of mine. And basically, it's 3 full days of total health transformation. So if weight loss is your goal, they're not going to just help you, and I'm going to be there as a speaker. We're going to help you actually do it. And so I'm going to be a speaker there. I'm going to be talking about weight mastery and the intimacy around emotional eating and how it impacts us, and how it affects and what the symptoms are and how we can support you to shift out of that, because I know that it's a challenge for some of you. And I want to leave, and I'm going to pop the link in the box below so that you can check out the event and get registered. And guess what? If you come to this event, you can get to meet me in person. I would love to meet you. I love all my followers dearly, and I want to meet you in person. So this is your opportunity to meet me. So it's again, if you're in San Diego, it's coming up in 2 weeks, February 14th through 16th. And I will post the link in the box below so you can check that out and register. And so you're so welcome. I'm getting some thank yous. So give me some love over there on Facebook. I would love to see your little hearts and your little likes. That's so fun when they kind of bubble up on the screen. So ladies, thank you so much for being here. Just know I'm always sending you so much love. I'll see you next time. Bye.